Good morning, Dr. Lewis Singer, Singer Family Chiropractic here in Boynton Beach, Florida, where families go to be well. And it's, of course, Monday. It must be another episode of Question for the Doc. And our question this week comes from Indigo. I actually love that name, Indigo. And she asked, how many times does a person typically see a chiropractor each week? I love that question because that's something that we answer during our orientation. So it really depends. In chiropractic, there's three phases. There's acute, there's corrective, and there's maintenance. So acute is kind of like it sounds, an acute injury, like usually how most people first see a chiropractor. They've got a backache, they got a neck ache, they got something that just happened to them. They were in a car accident, they fell off a roof, they lifted something too heavy. And this is called acute care. And usually they're coming in quite a bit during acute care because every adjustment builds on the one before it. The other thing is the adjustments don't last because when we put the spine back in alignment, it typically, sometimes within a couple of hours or even a day or two, will go back in the old position because it's used to the old position, or there's been a trauma that's kind of forced it out that way. So at the beginning, especially in what we call acute care, a patient will come in typically in our office 3 times a week. So usually Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Now, what's wonderful about our place is after the second visit, practice members don't have to make appointments. So they could come in pretty much whenever we're open. And the thing is, because we don't do anything other than the adjustment, we don't do any modalities, any adjunct procedures, usually a typical adjustment is under 5 minutes. So even though we have them coming in a lot, they're quick. They can come in when they want and they're in and out. So this 3 times a week goes into the next phase of care, which is called corrective care. That's where we're actually making correction of the spine. And that can take anywhere from 3 months to 3 years, depending on how long the spine has been out of alignment. And that's when we're making long-lasting changes to the spine to keep that spine in its corrective place. And then in that phase is usually 3 times a week, and again, probably down to 2 times a week somewhere in that phase. Finally, my favorite phase is what's called maintenance, and that's where patients typically coming in once a week, maybe once every other week, maybe once a month, and they're maintaining the correction because we've talked about before things that cause the spine to go out of alignment. It's stress, right? Physical stress, chemical stress, emotional stress. Those stresses are always happening to us. So if you had no stress, you would never need to see the chiropractor. But because stress is happening all the time, we want to keep the spine in maintenance. Now, somebody like me, I'm a once a weeker. I'll probably be a once a weeker for, the next 20 years or so. Just think about what I do for a living. I'm on my feet all day. I'm lifting patients. I'm running a practice. I'm paying bills. So I've got, stresses. Some of my older patients, some of my seniors, their house is paid off. They're not working. Their kids are long gone. And all they do is play shuffleboard all day and go on cruises. So those practice members, typically we try to get them to every other week or once a month. Again, depending on the stress you have in your life. Most of my patients, though, we usually get them to once a week. And once a week, I find, maintains their spine and helps them to deal with whatever stresses that we have. So that's it. At the beginning, 3 times a week, down to 2 times a week, and then once a week. In our office, it's typically 3 times a week for about 12 weeks. Do a re-exam if everything looks good, down to 2 times a week. Do a re-exam, and then after that, down to once a week or even less. And again, everybody's different, so that's kind of where we start. But it can change depending on condition, how long it takes to get the spine back in alignment, what's the condition of the spine, the age of the patient. But that gives you a good idea. So Indigo, thank you so very much for your question. Again, if you have a question for us, you can either see me here in the office or like Indigo, you can email us at chirosong@aol.com. That's CHIROSONG at AOL.com. I'm Dr. Lewis Singer for Singer Family Chiropractic. Have an amazing week. God bless you, and we'll see you next week. Take care.